Hello, I am Becca. Thanks again for watching Rue's Musings. Today we're talking about our ability to be graceful and own our mistakes and or when we mess something up or mess up in a relationship. And I'm so relieved that we're able to do this, that we're all human beings and each of us makes mistakes. Each of us goes out and does something that we feel like is right or that we feel like is just or that we feel like is appropriate, and we find out on the back end that it's none of those things, or that to somebody or somebody's it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel just, it didn't feel appropriate, it didn't feel like the right action. And so we are fully capable of saying after reflection, oh yeah, I understand, I can see this from your perspective. And that's not how I was looking at it before, because I was looking at it from my perspective and it was different, right? That's totally okay. And that's what yoga is teaching us, is that our perspectives are different, fundamentally. It's totally okay. I'm stunned a little bit that in our world, there isn't more grace around this. I feel so privileged in like realizing, oh, I was in the wrong. And I can admit that, and I can see how from your side it felt that way, and I apologize. So this comes from a conversation I had last night with a yoga teacher friend of mine who brought to my attention that some of the things I was saying in class were actually disrespectful to this person as well as other people, that he had heard that other people had said this as well. And I want to acknowledge, right, when I get the message right away, my first instinct, as I imagine most of ours are, but who knows, is like, he must be wrong, because I couldn't have done anything wrong. Do you guys see that? Right? No, of course. That can't be right. But my heart started beating, right, because criticism isn't, I'm not saying like, criticism is amazing, we love it. My heart started beating fast, but I paused and I thought about it, and I was just like, that is absolutely true. And basically, it's me inside of my offering saying like, hey guys, isn't this awesome? Which sometimes turns into, isn't it awesomer than the other thing? And from my side, it was just like, I'm excited. Obviously, I'm excited about what I'm doing and what I'm offering. And sometimes like it doesn't feel like enough. So then we do the right? That's what I was doing. Isn't this awesomer than that other thing? And here I have friends of mine, good friends of mine, and yoga teachers that I admire and respect and trust, doing the other thing, the And he amazingly comes to me, and he was so gracious and loving and honest in his feedback to me, which I really think obviously changes the situation. If it had been harsher or more critical or mean or, a different space, it would have felt very different for me, and I might not have been able to realize, oh, he's actually correct. That I'm saying, if what I'm doing is awesomer than what you're doing, then what you're doing is less than. Totally makes sense to me. And if I was in his position, I would feel the same way. And I was like, got it. That absolutely makes sense to me. And there's a whole nother conversation about how do we, in business, right, honor and value what we offer without putting down other things. And that's a whole nother conversation, which is interesting to me, but we're not having it now. So I just feel relieved that I can receive this feedback. I can want him to be wrong, and then I can be like, but he isn't. He isn't wrong. He's correct. And I absolutely see his perspective, and I am so grateful that he shared with me and that he shared in the way that he did. And then I can say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a human being. That I wasn't trying to say, right, what you're doing is less than, or that what you're doing isn't great. I was just trying to say, hey, I hope you guys like this. But that's not how it was coming across. And I got another message from a woman saying, like, I hope you're not beating yourself up about this. And it's so interesting to sit in that space. Like, I do feel like I was in the wrong. I do feel like I have to be much more careful about the words I'm using and how I'm sort of mitigating, honoring and valuing, like I said, what I'm doing without making it about other things. It doesn't have to be about other things. And I wasn't kind of treading that path very well. But I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I need to stop teaching yoga, or I'm not worthy of giving this another go. And that's because of yoga, because we're humans. We're designed to make mistakes. We're not showing up under the blanket of having to be perfect. I really truly like believe that, right? But it's also gotten into my heart over the last couple of years where I feel it. It's like, it's okay that I messed up, and I can say I messed up. And of course the outpouring has been really positive of people, you know, people saying like, thank you for admitting this. I'm kind of hoping someone will be like, yeah, I've been in one of those classes and it was a little bit S-H-I-T-T-Y, is that how you spell it? It was a little bit, you know, not great to hear you sort of dog on what I'm doing. And I appreciate your apology, which is more where I sit. Like, I messed up, and I said that I messed up, which I'm stunned is so unusual because we all mess up. And I'm here to say it's okay. I obviously don't try to mess up, right? My intention is acceptance. I want us all to feel held in who we are and how we function in the world and how we can bring more awareness around that. And sometimes we falter. It's inevitable. And when you falter, if someone says, hey, I think you're faltering, first there's the response to wanting them to be incorrect, and then you pause, and maybe they're not. And then you say, okay, yeah, I get it. I get that I could have been behaving in a different way that would have been more beneficial. What do you guys think? Can you admit when you're wrong? My impression is that for most people it's hard, and I'm not saying it was easy for me, but I'm so grateful that it's an option instead of it just being like, this is forever how it was, that I was being kind of a bad supporter of my yoga community, and I'll be stamped like that forever. I feel so privileged to be able to say like, wow, I'm sorry, that's not how I want to talk in this public forum. Let me know if you feel this way. Let me know how you feel about when you make mistakes, if you can admit that you're wrong. And check out my other musings, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.